In today's Farm Report, dairy operations have changed over the years, whether it went from milking into a bucket to now going to milk lines and or parlors. The newest technology? Robotic milkers. Emily Wilmes with the University of Minnesota Extension Service Office shares some information on a workshop this week going on in Sauk Center discussing the pros and cons of both parlors and robotic milkers.
There's an exciting educational opportunity coming up this Wednesday. University of Minnesota Extension will be hosting a workshop titled Parlors versus Robots, Options and Economics. This workshop is for area dairy producers who may find themselves at a crossroads between putting in robots for automatic milking or building a parlor. The workshop will be on Wednesday, February 11th at Elmer's in Sauk Center. The workshop will run from 10:30 to 3 with registration starting at 10 a.m. Registration cost is $10 per person and includes lunch. A great lineup of speakers and topics have been selected for this workshop. David Kammel with University of Wisconsin-Madison will present on design and layout for robotic milking systems. Jim Sulphur with University of Minnesota Extension will discuss options and considerations for robots. Kevin Yanni with University of Minnesota will talk about dairy housing and ventilation options. Bill Lazarus with University of Minnesota Extension will share the economic comparisons of a parlor versus a robotic milking system. There will also be a panel of local dairy producers, including robots, low-cost parlor, and new-built parlor operations. This workshop is a great opportunity for dairy producers to explore their options and learn about the considerations that go into making a decision. Producers from all size farms and stages of life are welcome to attend, as well as local agricultural businesses. Elmer's is located in Sauk Center. Please park in the back and use the back door to go directly into the event center. Pre-registration is not required, but any questions can be directed to me at the Stearns County Extension Office at 320-255-6169. This is Emily Wilmes with University of Minnesota Extension.
Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says trade is good for both agriculture and jobs, and that more than 1 million people go to work every day thanks to exports of American-grown products.
These jobs pay somewhere between 13 and 18% more than non-export jobs. So we'll continue aggressively promoting trade, and of course we'll continue to work with other cabinet members in articulating the need for trade promotion authority and hopefully for the passage of a Trans-Pacific Partnership trade agreement at some point in time at the end of this year.
USDA's Economic Research Service reports fiscal years 2009 to 2014 represent the strongest 6 years in history for U.S. agricultural trade, with American agricultural product exports totaling nearly $772 billion. Vilsack says this is despite the fact that many other countries' markets are not as open to American products as our markets are to theirs. For USDA Radio, Susan Carter, Washington, D.C.
Spring is right around the corner, and many folks think about spring cleaning, when we get rid of things that we don't need or have gone out of date. And as Emily Wilmes with the University of Minnesota Extension Service Office explains, it's also a good time to go through the vaccines to make sure that what you're giving your animals is the best and up to date.
This is Emily Wilmes, livestock educator with University of Minnesota Extension in Stearns, Benton, and Morrison counties. I ran across a great article from Beef Magazine the other day titled 6 Things to Consider as You Clean Out Your Vet Cupboard. The article was written by Heather Maud. It's important to keep veterinary supplies clean, organized, and up to date, and going through the cupboard now can save time when the busy spring season rolls around. Many of the tips highlighted in the article are applicable to all livestock, not just beef cattle. First, look at vaccines and syringes. Toss out vaccines that are expired, have illegible labels, or bottles with compromised stoppers. If a stopper is damaged from overuse or something else, there is a possibility that the vaccine could be contaminated. When cleaning syringes, avoid soaps and disinfectants, as they, according to SDSU Extension veterinarian Russ Daly, can inactivate modified live vaccines. The best method for cleaning is filling the syringes with boiling water. After they are dry, store in a Ziploc bag. Also consider labeling your syringes for use to avoid cross-contamination between killed and modified live vaccines. Next, consider additional medications to have on hand. Dr. Daly recommends having epinephrine in case an animal has a reaction to a vaccine. Antibiotics should also be on hand. As always, consult with your veterinarian about your herd's medications. I already discussed cleaning your syringes, but Maud also writes about cleaning other equipment. Clean and lubricate implant guns, ear tagers, dehorners, calving equipment, and other tools. In addition to cleaning, take the time to organize and inventory these items and group them by use, such as calving supplies, weaning supplies, and branding materials. Look at items you are storing, such as porons, dewormers, and disinfectants, for their storage requirements. Consider if any of these products have been exposed to harsh light or temperatures, and how long you've had them before. While your mind is on veterinary care, take some time to review your herd health plan. Look at your current plan and whether you see any needs that aren't being met. Consult with your veterinarian about possible changes. Also, make sure you are maintaining a vet log of vaccines, vet care, calvings, and other health events. Lastly, take a look at the fridge. The vet fridge is typically an old one that was in the kitchen before moving to the barn. Sometimes, as they age, fridges can have trouble maintaining temperature, so it's important to check to ensure that your medicines are being stored at the temperature on their labels. Keeping veterinary supplies clean, organized, and up to date can save time and even money in the future, so it's important to take some time before the busy season to get on top of it. This is Emily Wilmus with University of Minnesota Extension.
Do I sign up for the Price Loss Coverage Program, PLC, or the Ag Risk Coverage, ARC? Big farm bill choices farmers are going to have to make in the next few weeks. Not many have made it so far, though. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack telling reporters nearly 100,000 farmers have started going through the process of choosing. About 80,000 have actually made the election. That's 80,000 out of 1.7 million farmers eligible to sign up for these programs.
Obviously it's still a small percentage, but it never hurts to ask people to start thinking about it now in early February, when they still have 6 to 7 weeks left to be able to make this important decision.
USDA officials hoping that producers don't wait until the last minute to make that decision. If they do, local farm service offices could be overwhelmed.
That's why we're encouraging people to think about this, and if they are in a position to make a determination now, they can make the election now. In a week or two from now, maybe they'd like to reconsider. They can always change the election prior to March 31st.
After that, though, no changes allowed for 4 more years. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington.
February is Lactose Intolerance Month. Emily Wilmus with the University of Minnesota Extension Service Office gives us an overview of the condition and some interesting facts.
Did you know that February is Lactose Intolerance Awareness Month? I would like to overview some main points about lactose intolerance with you. This information is provided by Midwest Dairy Association. Lactose is a sugar naturally found in milk and many dairy products. In order to digest lactose, the body needs lactase, an enzyme that is made by the body. Some people do not make enough lactase to break down lactose, so they may experience physical symptoms when consuming foods that contain lactose. This is often referred to as lactose intolerance. Lactose intolerance doesn't mean to have dairy intolerance or a milk allergy. And many health authorities agree that milk and other dairy foods are an important and practical source of key nutrients for all people, including those that have lactose intolerance. People who have difficulty digesting lactose can still enjoy dairy. According to an expert panel convened by the National Institutes of Health to examine lactose intolerance and health, eliminating dairy foods may not only be unnecessary to manage lactose intolerance, but also may lead to nutrient shortcomings, which may result in adverse health effects. Midwest Dairy Association offers these tips for individuals with lactose intolerance. Sip it. Start with a small amount of milk daily and increase slowly over several days or weeks to build your tolerance. Try it. Opt for lactose-free milk and dairy products. They are real milk products just without the lactose, providing the same nutrients as regular dairy foods, and they taste great. Stir it. Mix milk with other foods, such as soups and cereal. Blend with fruit or drink milk with meals. Solid foods slow digestion and allow the body more time to digest the lactose. Slice it. Top sandwiches or crackers with natural cheese such as cheddar, Colby, Monterey Jack, mozzarella, and Swiss. These cheeses are low in lactose. Lastly, spoon it. Enjoy easy-to-digest yogurt. The live and active cultures in yogurt help to digest lactose. If you have additional questions about lactose intolerance, visit www.midwestdairy.com. This is Emily Wilmus with University of Minnesota Extension.
There's an old saying I made up, the higher you fly, the further you fall, and that sort of sums up the Agriculture Department's new forecast for farm income this year. Economist Mitch Morhart tracks income for USDA. He told us this year, following some record high income years,
net cash income is expected to fall about 22.4%. and net farm income by 31.8%.
Even with an expected 15% increase in government payments. One good thing, production expenses not going up as much as income coming down. Morhart says fuel and oil-related expenses, including fertilizers and such, will be lower this year, but costs for livestock purchases, labor, interest, and seeds will be up.
So the net result is about a 1% increase overall on expenses for 2015.
Meanwhile, he expects land values to go down 1%. The value of farm assets may be about the same as last year, but with farmers expected to take on 3% more debt, farm sector equity might drop slightly this year.
It's the first decline since 2009.
In Washington, Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.